Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Today we are covering the seventh juz. In the beginning of the seventh juz, in verse 90, Surah Al-Ma'idah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the following actions which are completely haram. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. إنما الخمر والميسر والأنصاب والأزلام رجس من عمل الشيطان فاجتنبوه لعلكم تفلحون. صدق الله العظيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses the four biggest vices, and these are إنما الخمر, indeed all intoxicants, والميسر, gambling in all of its forms and features, والأنصاب, sacrificing on divine stone altars, which they used to sacrifice animals on these stone altars in the name of the deities. So this third action, ansab. Number 4, azlam, divining arrows. So they used to take arrows and look which arrow, which color was on the arrow. This is a good luck or it's a bad luck. Should I go ahead in a certain decision in my life? And these were all done in the names of the different deities. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says all four of these, intoxicants of all sorts, gambling, and sacrificing on stone altars, and divining arrows, are all rijsun. They are a defilement, min amali shaitan, from the actions and the teachings of shaitan alone. Fajtanibuhu, O believers, stay away from it. Stay away from these actions, لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ, so that you will be successful. So this ayah puts in all of the muharramat and all of the prohibitions categorically in one place. Then at the conclusion of Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ma'idah refers to a table which is laden with numerous kinds of foods. This Ma'idah was actually the request which the Hawariyun, the disciples of Jesus, the disciples of Isa alayhi salam, asked him if he could ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send down a Ma'idah, a table with different kinds of foods. And this is mentioned in verse 112 to 115 at the end of Surah Al-Ma'idah. Then we have Surah Al-An'am, and in the middle of the surah, verse 42-43, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that what is the reason of difficulties and hardships which we see in our life and around us in the world. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَىٰ أُمَمٍ مِّن قَبْلِكَ. And indeed, definitely, we have sent to other nations before you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, messengers. And then people before us also were seized. فَأَخَذْنَاهُمْ بِالْبَأْسَاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ. Allah says we seized them via poverty and hardship. Poverty and hardship was a test of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to nations before, but what was the objective behind it? What is the objective behind being tested and different trials being sent to the world? لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَضَرَّعُونَ. Allah says, so that they would become humble and submit themselves in this humble manner in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the ultimate creator, nourisher, sustainer and provider. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَضَرَّعُونَ. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this was not always the case, that people became soft and people became humble. No. فَلَوْلَا إِذْ جَاءَهُمْ بَأْسُنَا. And Allah says in verse 43 that why is it not so that when our seizing and our tests and trials came upon them and do come upon them, as we see around us in the world, Allah says, تَضَرَّعُوا. Why haven't they become soft? Why haven't their hearts submitted to the will, decree and command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And then Allah tells us the reasoning behind this, وَلَكِنْ قَسَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ. The reason is their hearts have become hardened. The hearts have become hard, as a result of which nothing penetrates within it. So they look at different kinds of catastrophes, earthquakes and man-made disasters and natural disasters and calamities, but the heart is so hard that nothing makes a person reflect anymore because of the love of the world which has become has seeped within this heart. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the reason that people have not become humbly submissive despite seeing so many of our signs is that the hearts became hardened, and then when the heart becomes hard, وَزَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الشَّيْطَانِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Shaitan beautifies for them all of the actions that they're doing. So no matter how evil the action is, shaitan makes them think that this is something which is good. So these were 2 ayat which I wanted to share today from the 7 juz. The rest of the 7 juz talks about the qudrat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then also Ibrahim alayhi salam is mentioned, specifically the beginning aspect of his da'wah to his people is mentioned in detail, and then other prophets' names are mentioned. Tomorrow we will carry on with the 8th juz, inshallah, the second half of Surah Al-An'am, and then the first portion of Surah Al-A'raf. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.